Okay, so you're an entrepreneur, right? You've got this incredible product, something you know could be a total game changer for your customers. But when you try to explain it, you get polite nods, maybe a blank stare. It's frustrating. The thing is, the problem usually isn't your product, it's how you're talking about its value. And today, we are going to fix that.
First, let's talk about what I like to call the awesome problem. You know what I mean. It's that moment you're so fired up about what you've built that you start using these huge, enthusiastic words, but they don't really mean anything. We've all been there. I mean, this picture just nails it, doesn't it? You've got this super passionate founder literally shouting through a megaphone about how super fantastic and awesome their thing is. But just look at the people he's shouting at. They're just confused. The passion isn't landing. So what's going on here? Why isn't all that energy turning into actual sales? Well, the answer is kind of hidden right there in the cartoon. The pitch is totally content-free. Look, passion is great. You absolutely need it. But without proof, it's just noise. To get people to believe you, you need numbers.
And that brings us right to the heart of this whole thing, the power of numbers. See, our brains are just wired to trust something concrete over a fuzzy adjective. A number feels like a fact. Awesome feels like, well, just your opinion. We're going to talk about how to shift from making these vague promises to a measurable statement of value. And there's a specific tool that makes it all happen.
The solution has a name. It's called a Quantified Value Proposition, or QVP for short. Now, this is not just a laundry list of your product's cool features. A QVP is a rock-solid, measurable promise of the results a customer is actually going to get. It completely changes the conversation from, here's what our product does, to, here's what our product does for you. And listen, this isn't some new age marketing trick. The brilliant physicist Lord Kelvin said it perfectly more than 100 years ago. If you can measure it and put a number on it, you actually know what you're talking about. If you can't, well, your knowledge is what he called meager and unsatisfactory. And in business, that kind of unsatisfactory knowledge costs you sales.
So, how in the world do we find this magic number for our own product? It all starts with a really simple framework. No crazy math, no complex algorithms, just a straightforward comparison between two different worlds. Think of it like this. On one side, you've got the as-is state. That's your customer's life right now, with all of its problems, its costs, its headaches. And on the other side, you've got the possible state. That's their new and improved reality with your solution in hand. The gap, the measurable difference between those two, that's your value. Okay, but here is the most important part, so lean in. This whole calculation is completely useless if it doesn't line up with what your customer actually cares about. You have to know their number one priority. Are they obsessed with quality? Then your value has to be about being better. Is their world all about speed and deadlines? Then you gotta focus on being faster. Are they pinching every penny? Then it's all about being cheaper. If you promise to save them money when all they really care about is speed, you're just talking to a wall. All right, theory's great, but let's make this real. We're gonna walk through a case study for a made-up product. Let's call it Meter. It's a device that helps ranchers monitor the health of their cattle to catch a common illness, bovine respiratory disease, or BRD, way earlier. Okay, let's break this down. In the as-is world, our rancher with 1,000 cattle is losing around $63,000 to this disease every year. That's a huge hit. But in the possible world, with our Meter product, they slash those losses all the way down to $36,000. You can see it right there. Fewer sick animals, and they literally cut their death losses in half. And here's where the magic happens. We take that whole table, all those numbers, and we boil it down to this one single powerful number. The value isn't some vague promise like better herd health. No, the value is a concrete $27 in savings for every single calf. Now that is a number a rancher can understand and act on. So, you've done the math. You've found your number. What's next? The final step is to package it all up in a way that actually sells. You're not going to walk into a big meeting and just drop a spreadsheet on the table. You need something that's clear, concise, and really, really compelling. So let's just do a quick recap of the process. Step 1, figure out what your customer cares about most. Is it better, faster, or cheaper? Step 2, map out their current world, the as-is state. Step 3, quantify their new reality with your product. And finally, step 4, put it all together in a simple, visual, one-page diagram. And this one-pager, this is your secret weapon. Why? Well, for one, it makes your value instantly obvious. But even more important is that it's shareable. Your main contact at the company can take this single piece of paper to their boss or to the finance department and make the case for you.
You've just armed them to be your champion inside their own company.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question. Forget all the awesome and super fantastic stuff. If you had to boil down everything your product does into one single number, a number that truly matters to your customer, what would it be? What is the one number that defines your value?